course, there's no one here.
So we quit it anyway.
I know.
Hmm?
I know. Hi, hey. I just wanted to come on real quick. I usually don't work on Sundays, but um, you know, everybody else was doing live, so I figured I would too. I just wanted to point out a few things. Hey, Lisa. I know we're gonna have uh, well, it's all spirit, man. I'm just the and you know what? My mind was crazy all week. All week it was crazy. And what's weird is, I was getting 7. I think it was around 7 days. I posted that 8 days ago, but it was like right before midnight. So I think that's pretty darn close. And I said within the next week. So, hi, thank you for subscribing. Oh, I got 28 people here.
You do? Put on this too. Keep going.
Happy Sunday. I know, I'm actually at my mom's and getting ready to go swimming. Oh, Shazam says hi.
Hi. Well, she's faithful, isn't she?
Yeah, I like her a lot.
She's sure faithful.
So I'm very sorry to say, about Kiely and what happened to her and everything. It's a very sad situation, and that's where the focus is today. Not on who was right or who was wrong or any of that, but the fact that she was found, um, and I'm glad for that. I'm glad that her family can finally have some closure. That she's able to come home, and now I hope to God all the conspiracies can stop. Um, because sometimes things are just as they are, you know. I don't ever want to be right about this, but at the same time, it's like I need to be for a validation purpose and for spirit because they give me what they give me for a reason. And I try to always tell people like my post was saying, this is why I don't like people coming to me and telling me, hey, you know, um, you're not right because this psychic said this and this psychic said that. And I never go by what another psychic says. I always try to trust spirit. And I mean, look, this is why I trust spirit, right? So the first reading, I knew she was in an accident. I knew she was in water somewhere. But then when I did the second focus reading, as I kind of explained, my interconnects were definitely I feel the couple coming back from Reno, Jeanette and Juan, because it looks just as I thought, down into trees. And, there is a creek and a pond on the other side. Sometimes things are a little mirrored sometimes. Um, but that was definitely them. There's actually a curve sign that they showed on the news. So it was weird. I've never had that happen before, but, I kept seeing that crash for like 3 or 4 days. It was driving me absolutely nuts, nuts. And it was weird because we didn't know that that couple was even missing yet. And they went missing a day after Kiely did. So if I would have known that they were missing, I would have known that's where that belonged. Because I even told Shazam when I saw it, I was like, dude, I think this is where my embankment crash comes in because the embankment crash has been coming in since Chrissy, and it didn't make sense. You know what I mean? It didn't make sense the fact that I was getting water in a crash in the first reading, and then the second reading I was getting an embankment crash. You know what I mean? So it didn't make sense to me. I knew it had to be someone else. And then it was like once that couple was found, I could see Kiely again. It was like I couldn't see Kiely that whole time because I kept seeing the embankment crash. I've never had that happen before. It was like on repeat. I've had repeating visions, not repeating to where days repeating. Like every so often, I'll get the same thing go through my mind. Once they were found, that one stopped, and then I kept seeing Kylie's car in the water. So that's
That
why
lady.
when I came on my live on Wednesday, it was a very much spirit led. All day that day, they kept taking me back to Prosser. She kept saying, "You know what? You need to go back and look at Prosser." She told me that, and plus she kept calling me on the phone. She did, Mom. The girls kept calling me, and they weren't even near their phones.
Ah,
So, um, she was like, yeah, you need to go back to Prosser. You need to look at Prosser. And then they kept showing me that in the water. And so then that's when I said, you know what? AWP is going to find her this weekend. And I think the 7's pretty close because I posted that 8 days ago. But like I said, it was right before midnight. So yeah, and you know what? That's kind of crazy because I wish they would have announced that couple missing sooner because then we would have known and I would have been able to straighten it out. Because that's the problem, like with interconnects, is sometimes you don't know where the stuff goes. I know I get everything for a reason, and I always say it might not fit the specific case, but the interconnects have to do with area sometimes, like the same area, and sometimes it's the same situation. These are both accidents. Um, and so everybody was like telling me this big conspiracy. Her friends killed her and pushed her in the water, and that's where she is. And it's now I'm even hearing, how do we know it's not foul play? Her car was flipped. I really don't think it was. I saw her with her seatbelt on, so we're gonna find out, exactly what happened. Obviously, she had probably drugs and alcohol in her system, and I always saw her hitting the accelerant, not the gas. So I think maybe that, and I kind of saw her passed out, so maybe she was almost passed out or at that point. So, I mean, it's spirit, you guys. It's not me. I mean, yes, I'm the channeler, and yes, I have to follow through with what I'm getting, and that's why Wednesday I came on and I told you guys, because I had been going over that stuff all week. Like, nobody understands what goes on in my mind most of the time. It's between visions and thoughts, and it's like my visions come in and I'm like, okay, well, what does that mean? Because on the 8th of August was when I first saw the car go into water. And when someone right after that posted, hey, this girl's missing, and I wanted to connect directly to her. Aunt Sharon, don't call me right now. Go tell her. Okay. Please. I'll tell her we'll be done in a minute. Yeah, August 8th I had gotten that vision. So thank you.
She's doing like, well, you got a dry towel? There's 3 of them over there.
Yeah, I said 8 days ago. I said 7 days, so it was right before midnight. It was the reading number 2. Someone asked me when she was going to be found. Yeah, it was pretty close. It was that reading that I posted was post. Oh wait, when did I say that?
Your car's still over there?
Yeah, that was the second reading. That was 8 days. Yeah. I don't know what that. It was a dream, so dreams are kind of weird. They're not extremely accurate. Just like I saw Chrissy was gonna be found, but she wasn't found in the way I saw in my dream. So I really don't know what that's gonna be about. It was Donner Lee, not Donner, so I don't know. However, Justin came in the very first reading for Kiely. I don't know if you guys remember, it was one of the first things I mentioned. There is a Justin missing with his car, so that's just another interconnect, similarity. Similar thing there. So thank you very much for the super chat. I appreciate it. I haven't seen anything about, well, see, that's the problem. I have tried to help with Summer, but my mind is, I cannot differentiate what my mind says from, because I've heard so many things. Plus, I'm giving her a break. I don't think it's right that people keep bugging and bugging and bugging and bugging. She's on the other side, and it's taking her energy. One day I will redo Summer Wells again, but not now. Spirit will tell me when it's time to do her again. So yeah. And well, I said deep, but I mean 14 feet to me is kind of deep. I mean, I wasn't like on the shore. But visions are gonna always so clear. I saw her floating down. That might have been their reference to say, hey, her car's in water. That might have just been the way that they showed it to me. Because remember, this is how we relate to things. You know what I mean? This is how we relate to what we're getting. And they may have just had to show me. Thank you very much, Faye. They may have just had to show me that way, that her car was in water. That was the way that they knew to show me. So whether I took it as it was very deep, but it was because I saw it floating down, but I wouldn't have known she was in water any other way. You know what I mean? Because the very first reading, it wasn't that clear, although that's what I felt. And the very first vision I got, that's what I felt. And so then when I saw the embankment crash, I was like, shit, that doesn't make sense. Now I'm confused, But I had to go, once we saw that once we saw that that poor couple, and I feel, you know, my condolences to their friends and family as well. But after I saw that couple, it was like then it became clear with Kiely, and all day that day she just kept pushing me on Wednesday, and Spirit kept pushing me. You know, you need to go live and you need to explain this now that we know where this belongs and everything. So, um, Mom, are you gonna go with them or are you gonna go with
I'm
me?
waiting for you.
Okay, because I'm gonna go up in just a
I'm
little bit.
going.
Don't forget the key. Oh, you got the key.
Yeah.
We'll be up there in just a minute.
Yep. Pins and tails get halfway dry.
Yeah, and you know,
Can't
I
believe
said
it.
AWP since the beginning, like we needed them, and I felt like they were. What was weird that they waited till today to check Prosser. They checked Donner and all the pawns and stuff yesterday.
He's pretty soft.
And Boca, Donner, Boca. Mom, please close that because of Ginger.
Mm.
Donner, Boca, and all the pawns yesterday. Um, but they didn't check Prosser till today, so that's why I don't understand why they waited. But yeah, Kylie's okay from what you know what I can see. Well, I'm glad we're all kind of getting the validation because this shows you don't listen to what other people say. Yeah, no, that's what I said. You know, I feel sorry for her family and everything. Unfortunately, I feel like this was a huge was a life mistake that she made. I kept getting she wanted to go home, and I feel like she wanted to go home, and maybe she didn't make a good decision on driving. Um, and I think we've all kind of been in a situation where we've made mistakes and we've been lucky. Um, so unfortunately, that always felt like that's how it was. I didn't get, and the people that getting the names and stuff. I mean, they could be getting that because that's people that were there. That's people that maybe give her drugs or alcohol or whatever. Because I mean, she was obviously drinking and on drugs and stuff. I didn't feel like she was like that bad, but maybe that's how she felt about driving. Maybe she thought she was okay. You know what I mean? Um, and so it was almost like I saw her almost passed out and hit the gas, and that was the last thing that was like all the stuff I got on Wednesday. So I had to tell you guys what I was getting because she kept pushing me and pushing me after that couple was found. Like I needed to come on and explain everything and give you guys my new impressions because it was so clear after that. It was so weird. Um I know I know it's process of elimination, but that's where she was last known. So it made more sense for them to check that area first. I'm not really sure why they didn't check that area first, because that's where her ping was. That's the only water that they checked so far. But I know that like they didn't find her because they didn't have sonar or whatever. Like they should have started there, but whatever. They do their job their way. And yesterday all day I was just like, I was telling Shazam, dude, why haven't they checked Prospera yet? I was driving her crazy because I was so impatient because I just felt so strongly about this from the beginning. And that's what I said, like I feel so strongly about this. And you know, the only thing that had me questioning was that embankment crash, but once we figured that out, it became clear. So, unfortunately, it's not good news. But I'm hoping now all the conspiracy stuff can stop because sometimes that's one thing I remember that I learned in in Lisa Williams' class was not everything's a conspiracy. Some things just are the way that they are, and we won't know until they do an autopsy and all of that if they do that. But I just think it was one of those mistakes. I never saw anybody else with her. And so I can't say that anybody else was with her at that time. And I really didn't think that anybody saw her. That's what I'm saying. Like, I really didn't think, anybody saw her, like leave and get in the crash. I really think that everybody's like, why aren't they coming forward? I don't think they saw anything. Um, because the music was going, they were drunk, like they weren't paying attention, you know? Um, yeah. And I mean, regardless usually of how someone passes, I haven't on these readings caught anybody or had anybody that wasn't, um, just because of the way that they passed. Yeah, I have problems with that. Sir, I'm a Scorpio. Sorry, I'm a Scorpio. Scorpios are the most psychic sign. But anyways, I have that problem too, and I just get so frustrated. I'm like, why is this person telling me this and that and this that this psychic got that, this psychic got that? I don't care. I give what I get. That's that. You know. Um, Yeah. I mean, like I said, I got a little confused with after the second reading, but that kind of shows that I think my first ping and my first thought and my first reading are right. You know what I mean? And I need to just go with that. And maybe not try to do a bunch of different readings. But I think with Dylan, it's different because I'm trying to find location. Uh, but I mean, it usually shows that my first things are right. Yeah, I do too. I feel bad for parents. I mean, I have a teenager, um, and I, I hope he makes good choices and decisions. Unfortunately, we're not there when our teens' lives to be with them to tell them no, don't do this and don't do that. And she did say, I wish I wouldn't have drove. Um, I wanted to go home. That was one thing she kept repeating. So that's why I thought she was close to home at first, like in the second reading, because she kept repeating she wanted to go home. But I think it was just more of a feeling. Um, yeah, it was outside stuff. It was um, outside stuff. That's why I try not to watch a lot of things because I will get like I will just start questioning everything because like I said, sometimes it's hard to tell the difference between a thought and you know, a vision. And I think that's worse. I mean, there could be more to it, but I didn't see any more to it than that. Um, and I was so impatient. Like yesterday, I was like, "Man, come on, come on, come on, come on." Um, so I mean, I don't know. I heard they were working on that. So I heard they're working on taking it out. Yeah. Um. I mean, at first I thought she left the area. My first reading, I thought she did, but then it was like on Wednesday when before I did the live, she kept taking me back there. Like there's a reason I kept going back there that day, and I was looking at it when the girls called me accident. Well, it wasn't accidentally. We all know it was Kiely, but still. Um. Yeah. Exactly. I understand they're going off of tips, but I think they should have. They said they have to flip carbon. Yeah, they do have to flip it over. Yeah. Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. So I don't think if she would have been pushed, it would have flipped like that. But what do I know? I don't know anything about physics. And there was a time where my mind started to go with the conspiracies, and I was like, nope, nope, nope. I'm going with my first ping, my first vision that I got, which was on the 8th when I saw a car go into water. And from there, I was just like, nope, I'm gonna keep it on that. Yeah, it does take time to get it out. And if you guys remember on Wednesday when I was talking and I said, look, they're mentioning this other case. Now, this other case, um, was the guy was at a party and he was found in the pond. The cops checked the pond multiple times and he wasn't found for like a year or so. And then AWP comes out and checks the pond, and they found him. So it was a very similar case because he was also at a party. It just wasn't a reservoir; it was a pond. Same thing. So they kept mentioning that to me. And now I know I watch certain things so that they can relate them to me and say, hey, it's like this. It's clear that you know what you're doing and the info you're getting is legit. If it's not, then Nefarious People wants to thank you for sticking on. Oh, thank you. Yeah. Um and I'm not gonna go back and be like, well, no, maybe it was, a conspiracy kind of thing. But I think a lot of YouTubers have I don't know. Just the theories drive me crazy sometimes. I can't handle like the theory and the theories and the dramas. Which sometimes things are dramatic and stuff, but not always. And actually, I told Paranormal After Dark because he got that she was in an accident, and I went on there and I was like, dude, I'm telling you, I think you're right because I got the same thing. And so he was second guessing too, but I was like, yeah, I think you're right, dude. So I went and validated him because he's the only EVP but that matched me. I don't know what all this other stuff is, but this is why I say EVPs, and this is not against anybody that's not against anybody that does them. People have their own thing and their own way and all of that. I'm not bashing anybody, so don't take it that way. But I'm just saying that EVPs aren't completely accurate because other spirits can come in and they can twist things and just because someone says a name or says like mom, it doesn't mean mom's involved. It doesn't mean that person's involved. They could be saying it for different reasons. Like those people were there. You know what I mean? So, it just depends. If there is a guardrail hire services, and you know, I just got there was a comment on my YouTube also saying, well, she's not in the water because there's no proof that she went in the water. How many cases does AWP work where there's no proof that anybody goes in the water? I mean, it happens, and that's what I told her. So yeah, that is why we need AWP. And you know, it's so weird because I didn't know about them until about a month ago. I just started watching their stuff, and then it was like this. Then after that, Kyle Mormon came in, and then so now I have a reference for when cars are in water because I got the similar thing with Kyle Mormon. And I knew he was in water too. I knew they all were. And I did a reading on that. But that was the first, it was like ever since that one, every case I've worked on since then has been water. It went from, except for Dylan, but it went for him. It went from him, Kyle Mormon, to Chrissy, who was also in her car, which I saw her in her car, but then after I saw her in her car and medical stuff, then it switched to the embankment crash. So that's that's what happens when I channel deeper and I'm more open, so more can pop in, especially if they tell me everything they want to tell me already. And there wasn't really much more to get from Kiely. So I wasn't being given a whole lot more. But then it went from Chrissy then here to Kiely, so it was like it's like a pattern. It's kind of crazy. Um, yeah, I agree. Like I didn't feel anything bad about her friend, and I felt really. I mean, other than maybe she shouldn't have left her, but I felt really sorry because everybody was, saying a lot of bad things about her, and that's assumptions, and it kind of sucks. Um, It's okay, Tammy. I'm gonna have to not stay on that long anyways because I have to go. I'm going swimming, so at my mom's. I usually don't work or do anything on Sundays, but I had to because this happened. Yeah, there isn't always proof. That's what I'm saying. I'm sorry, I'm reading the comments. Yeah. Oh, wow. I worked with the detectives from Kyron's case, and that's how I found your channel and knew you were the real deal because you said things I only heard from him. Oh, that's interesting. I appreciate that. I didn't see, I never know if I don't get validation, like I'm just like, okay. Like I really think Harmony Montgomery is over the county, over the line, over the state line, like right over the state line. Um, but it's hard to get anybody to search anything. Like finding a car in water, I think is a lot easier than finding a body that may have been buried. You know what I mean? Um, and that's what I kept telling Shazam, I was like, she has to be in the water because her car hasn't been found yet. I think if she was down the embankment there anywhere, then they would have found it by now. But again, when it came back to it came back to that embankment crash with the couple from, coming back from Reno. I know. I said they weren't visible from the road, which they weren't. So, anyways. So if you haven't watched the live from Wednesday, go watch that live. I think most of you guys have watched it, but anybody else that new is watching this, go watch that live because that's my predictions about this weekend and AWP Pioneer and everything. Yeah, I am Jennifer, and that's why I made that. It's so funny because I made that post last night about people like not taking me away from what I'm getting. You know what I mean? I can't let people do that. And I do because I'm human. I start second guessing because I'm human. But this was a big lesson for me as well. And I never had repeating visions like that with the embankment crash and with hers. So it's like they're both coming in at the same time, but at different times. You know what I mean? So kind of drove me a little crazy. But I'm going to take you guys with me real quick while I go to get my car. Because they're at me. They want to go swimming. So I got to put my chihuahua away real quick. Sorry, guys.
What happened to this?
What's wrong with you?
Nothing.
Okay. So I'm gonna take you guys on a walk real quick.
Okay.
Not you. I'm gonna go get the car. So it is, yeah, it's very confusing how I work sometimes. Like when I get the interconnects and stuff, it's like it confuses me so much sometimes. That's why I don't know why spirit works with me that way, but it was almost like about timing with this. Like they had to be found first or something, or they wanted to like reach out, or they wanted to let me know that they were. I don't know if it was a validation thing. I don't really know. Yeah, and it works different for everybody. So the way it works for me is not the way that it works for every psychic medium. It works for all of us differently. Um, and I just choose not to. I try not to validate with EVPs unless they go along with what I'm saying, because like I said, they can trick. They can trick, and you don't know who's talking. Like I trust my channeling more, but I do like to use them sometimes. It's just true mediums channel spirit. Um, and I mean, everything's fine to validate. That's just how I feel. That's just my opinion, though. You know, because I mean, look at Paranormal After Dark. He did get an accident like I did. So, I mean, sometimes they can be legit. So, you guys, I have my bumper taped. It's awful. I hit my bumper yesterday off-roading. No, I wasn't off-roading. I was trying to get home. Yeah, exactly. They can attract, exactly. It's more focused. It has more clarity. Devices, they can attract other energies, and you don't know who's talking, like I said. And then sometimes I think it's hard to hear, and I think we hear what we want to hear, so that's just my opinion. And I know other mediums that will not use them at all, just because they're sometimes can try to manipulate the situation, depending on, who is you're picking up. So I'm just parked down the street. I'm not doing anything weird or, driving anywhere crazy on the road or nothing. But yeah, so I just, I'm so happy that she's been found. And I've been waiting for this since like Friday. I was just like, dude, come on. I was so impatient. It was driving me insane because I never felt so strongly before about anything. And I just knew that's where she was. I just knew she was there. And it was weird because I'm usually not that like, yes, that's right. Yes, they're going to find her. Yes, yes, yes. I'm usually not like that. I'm usually like, well, maybe. But no, this one I was like, no, this is how it's going to happen. So, and I have people question me, which fine, they can question me. They don't gotta believe what I say, but just don't try to change my mind. You know what I mean? Just don't try to change my mind. So yeah, hit the like button when you guys come in. And if you haven't subbed, please sub. Yeah, I mean, who knows? I mean, they're kind of fun. I like using them sometimes, but only if it's gonna. I don't have the patience for them, dude. I'll sit there and I'll be like, "Come on, talk. Tell me something. Tell me something that I don't already know," and I can never get it. So, my channeling is more clear than that. And a lot of it comes down to trust.
That's your sister.
Okay, I'm ready. Whenever you are.
Okay, I am too.
Hey, Lynn. It's good to see you. I know I usually do late lives, but like I said, it's Sunday and I'm at my mom's and I'm gonna have to jump off here soon. But I just, I wanted to come on and this is my respects to Kiely and her family, and I just want to thank Kiely for being so as clear as she could be with me and persistent. And actually Juan and Jeanette too. I mean, they were very persistent with me as well. So I'm thankful that they were so persistent with me, and that even though the repeating visions was kind of annoying, you get a vision all day, every day for a few days, it gets kind of annoying. But that's why I was so confident on Wednesday when I said, look, she's in the water and she's going to be found by AWP on this weekend. And I was so confident with that because it was like, I know, but I never get to do the early lives because at home it's wild at my house during the day. So, because of my animals, it's just wild. I just got bit just walking that far. Um, so yeah, thank you, Spirit. Thank you, my guides. And I try to be spirit driven in everything that I do. So if I come on here, it's for a reason. I know it's supposed to be fuchsia. It looks more red, of course, but I'm thankful. I'm thankful for my gifts. I'm thankful to Spirit. I'm thankful to Kiely because if she wouldn't have showed me, I wouldn't have known. And I'm even thankful to Juan and Jeanette. Because if they wouldn't have been so persistent, I wouldn't have had that validation. I mean, I really couldn't find them because I didn't know who it was till that day. And then it was like, after they said they were missing, I was like, oh, that's my down embankment couple. And that's what I told Shazam right away. I was like, look, this is probably them in the accident. And the fact that they were like missing one day apart from each other in the same kind of area, it makes sense. It made sense to me because I see the patterns now. And thank you. I always try to be genuine and always try to be humble and spirit led. It's never me that does this, it's Spirit, and I just try to be the messenger the best that I can. It's not always easy to understand what they're saying. We have our own language. What?
My tea.
And your phone.
Hang on. I gotta put this away.
I mean, we have our own language with Spirit. The way that I communicate is not the way somebody else communicates. And sometimes, like I said, it's symbolic. It's how we relate. And, like I said, I thought she was in deeper water, but because I saw her floating, but that was just her way of showing me, hey, I'm in water, like being adamant about it. You know what I mean? That's just the way that she showed me. Not everything is exact in visions. I wish it was, but it's not. Just like the embankment couple, the creek and the pond are on the other side. So it's not always exact, but, you got to understand we're connecting to a completely different dimension. So it's not going to be exactly clear because we're human. We're not a mystical being. You're not going to always get it right. Yeah.
Okay, let's do it.
And so, it is what it is. But we do the best that we can to try to understand everything and try to understand what we're getting and hopefully that it's right. Because I don't like being wrong because a lot of people, they always forget when you're right about things and remember when you're wrong about things. And I'm not going to be right all the time. It's impossible. But pretty good track record, so I try to stick with what I get instead of listening to people tell me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very... Oh, just push it over, Mama.
I will. It's okay. It's all good. You want a towel? Pick your towel here. Because I'm taking the red stand. Red.
Yeah.
Which one what?
It doesn't matter. I don't care. It's just a towel.
Okay.
I know I'm not a mystical being. Darn it. I wish I was. That would be so cool. Yeah. I was struggling energetically. I really was. I don't even know why, but I was.
Did you leave my phone on the table? No, it's right here. Oh, right on. You're so good. So good.
I was struggling energetically. It's super hard work. People don't even understand how hard it is. Because not only do we get, the information, but then we have to try and figure out how it fits, what it fits. Location is the hardest because I see it like I'm there. Except for this one, she kept taking me back to the campground, so I knew she had to be there because on Wednesday, she kept doing that. She kept telling me, go back to the campground, go look at it, because I never looked at it before that. And I was like, that doesn't make sense. And then they kept mentioning that that one case where the guy was at the party and he he was found in the pond, and so it was the same thing, just a reservoir. So that was my validation right there. Because I will never go on here and be like, yes, for sure. But I was sure about this one. But bodies are a lot harder. Because I see it like I'm there. So it's hard to find where I'm talking about unless I'm there. So scared of the info I get. exactly. And that's what I was afraid of. Like this whole time, I was like, you know what?
If
What
you go
if-
down this, take the side street and go down, there's only one bump thing.
Okay, Mom.
I'm just letting you know.
I was like, yeah. I was so worried that I was gonna make this prediction and be wrong, but then I was like, no, I'm not. That's not wrong. It's not wrong, because she repeated that vision to me all day, and that's why I say when I get repeating visions and I get drawn and pulled to a place, it's for a reason. It's never not for a reason, and it might not even be related to that person. Like I said, I get drawn to other places where other things have happened or where other people are or whatever. So it's not always that person, as we've seen in Texas. But because I've been pulled to places where we find out later that other things have happened there. But I always get, it's always for a reason. I always get everything that I do, I get for a reason. So, well, I don't always have confidence. You know what? Shazam kicks me in the ass a lot, and tells me, no, you need to stop her and going somewhere. They're always like, you need to knock it off. You're right. Just stop. And so I need that because, I just need that because I second guess a lot. Like all the time I second guess. It's ridiculous. And I try not to. I really try not to, but I'm human. It's hard. And like I said, it's hard to make sense of certain things. But look at Dylan. I mean, look at that first reading I did on Dylan where I described the suspect, and then look who they arrested. So, I mean, that was pretty validating in itself. And then Riker, that was pretty validating. So lately, I mean, things have been very validating. I should know better, Yeah, they do keep me in check, dude. They do. Thank you. Yeah, my mom's supposed to be red. My mom's is supposed to be red. Mine's supposed to be fuchsia.
Well, she hasn't seen it.
I wanted pink.
It's pretty though. It's red,
but
red.
It's like red, not pink.
Show her my red. I get a lot of compliments on
my
it.
Mom. That's her red.
Can you see my red hair? They can't see my red hair.
You just went on YouTube, Mom.
Oh, good. Good. I need to do that. Expand my horizons.
Exactly. People like that you do the haunting stuff with me.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, we gotta go back to Tombstone with my EMF.
I didn't get too much up to.
With my EMF.
Oh, your EMF. Okay.
I got a lot on Tombstone, but I had to sit down. But I want to do more. Like,
I know you did, but I didn't get nothing.
Everybody says I look like my grandma, but no one's seen my mom. But she doesn't like. Shazam says your hair looks good, Mama.
Thank you.
Everybody says hi. Yeah, no, I think I had amethyst before, like purple, because I usually do purple, but I was wanting to go pink for some reason, and I dyed it pink. It was splat pink, like a hot pink, but it didn't last and it started growing out. So then we got this dye from this beauty place, and I don't know what I did wrong, but it made it like really light pink. Like it dyed my hair like a really light color. So I found this, and it's supposed to be permanent, but it still comes out. So, yep, I'm headed to, I come here every weekend and visit my mom. That's why I don't work on Sundays, because I take the day to relax and go in the water and refresh myself, because, we need that when we're working with spirit. We get very ungrounded and stuff. I'm a natural oven too, actually. Oh, I'll be in a minute. I'm going to finish this. Okay, yeah. I want to thank you guys so much for your love and support, and for you guys believing in me. And again, I want to thank Spirit, because I couldn't do this without them. And I don't, even if they do annoy me sometimes with that's like, okay, freaking Windsor. I had that dream of Windsor. I need that check. I keep being told it'll be checked, but it hasn't been. It's driving me insane. Because that one, they repeated that vision for 2 hours with me for that girl. But maybe more people will listen to me now. I don't know. I'm hoping more people will listen to me now. This is why I do this, like to find people, but also to validate spirit, to validate they're still alive on the other side, to validate that they can help us in many ways. And this is just a validation of psychic mediumship gifts. Like, how would I know any of this? I wouldn't. And how would I know a lot of the cases? I wouldn't. So I'm very thankful. And happy birthday to Miss Anonymous. I'm 2 years younger than you. So happy birthday. But really, I can't thank you guys enough. And like I said, Spirit, I am very thankful to Spirit because I would not have known if they had not have told me, especially Kiely. And she was one that I was like, man, Kiely, come on, come on. And then on Wednesday, after that couple was found, she just was like, okay, this is how it is. And I was like, all right. So, I hope that people notice and maybe they'll listen to me more because there's been several times I've been correct, like Stephanie Parze, Riker, what was the other one? Kenneth. Um, there's some more. I mean, I do too. I work with past animals. I'd love to work with them alive, but honestly, I haven't been able to open that gift up yet. So, but there's been a lot of cases where I've been correct on, and I'm hoping that people are starting to notice and listen so that the only reason I want that, it's not for any other reason other than it will help me find other people because they'll listen to me. You know what I mean? So, um, that's why it's like, that's why I want people to notice. It's not because of me, it's because I want them to notice Spirit. I want them to notice this so that the next time I feel confident about something or I say something, at least get it checked out. At least we could cross it off. It's not going to hurt anything. And if I didn't know AWP was already going there, I probably would have been like, okay, can we get AWP in the water? You know what I mean? So yeah, I'm gonna go in and go swimming. Thank you so much, you guys, for everything and for the super chats today. I appreciate you guys so much. Appreciate your everything, your support. Thank you, Ziggy. Oh, did I? I saw her floating kind of down. All right, guys. Thank you so much. I have to figure out how to end this on this thing. I don't know. Let's see.